Oh my goodness. Although it's been on my wish list for quite some time, I almost gave up hope as I thought it was never going to happen. But then Apple recently announced that Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro is finally coming to iPad. Now that has my apple juices going and my mind racing to questions such as, will the iPad version be a dumbed down or light version of the desktop sibling? Or will it actually be desktop class? Or better yet, will it leapfrog its desktop sibling and make it the powerhouse for video editors everywhere? And the penultimate question, does this now mean the iPad is finally Pro? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome intrepid viewers. My name is Alex, and on this channel we focus on exploring all things tech while keeping an eye on cybersecurity. But first, some coffee. Let's get some key things out of the way. Apple has announced the release dates for the versions of Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro for the iPad will take place on May 23rd with a purchase price of $499 per month or $49 per year with a 1-month free trial. So it is a subscription-based model, and it will only be compatible with M1 or M2 based iPads. In this video, I'm going to focus mainly on Final Cut Pro. Based on Apple's website, here are 5 features I'm most excited about in Apple's reimagining of Final Cut Pro for a touch-first interface client. 1. A jog wheel to scroll through footage and your timeline. This appears to be like a virtual version of the physical wheel on the Blackmagic editor keyboards. Number 2, putting the iPad pencil to use by skimming through footage or timelines and using the hover feature for the M2 based iPad Pro models. In addition, drawing directly onto frames to create easy animations to help punch up your video. Number 3, auto cropping to repurpose video for multiple platforms like vertical mode for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram. Number 4, isolating subjects and removing the backgrounds without a green screen. This is so impressive. Number 5, directly recording in Final Cut Pro from the iPad's camera in ProRes. Also reassuring for desktop users is the fact that so many of the desktop features appear to be present for those combining their iPads with Apple's keyboards. We will still have access to all of the keyboard shortcuts we're familiar with and should help ease our transition into the iPad version. Some open questions, however, do remain about what features may not be available. 1. Will we be able to edit footage directly stored on a connected external storage SSD like you would with the desktop version, or other software already available on the iPad like LumaFusion? This is something I do regularly when it comes to editing footage on my Mac. 2. Will existing third-party options such as LUTs, plugins, etc. purchased for the desktop work with the iPad version? Or will we have to wait for third-party versions to be available for the iPad? As I currently have a library of third-party purchases, I am eager to see if I need to repurchase those or if I can use my existing library and save some dollars. Number 3, will we be able to start a project on the desktop and then move it or export it to the iPad? Apple mentions you'll be able to export or move your projects from the iPad to the Mac, but they don't mention that you can do that in reverse. All in all, this is still huge. I am very excited to try the iPad version out. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see in a follow-up. What features would you like for me to explore or put to the test and report back on? And now for the penultimate question. Is the iPad now finally Pro? Although the iPad has been used by professionals for quite some time as a key tool in their workflow, many continue to question if the iPad is truly Pro. This continued to be a black cloud over Apple, even though they gave the iPad some impressive processing horsepower with the inclusion of the M1 and M2 processors. Professionals from creators such as writers, artists, illustrators, photographers, musicians, to medical practitioners, manufacturing workers, pilots, and real estate professionals have all been using the iPad with some very sophisticated third-party software that enable them to do some amazing things that they couldn't do or do as effectively or efficiently on a desktop or laptop. One could argue, now that Apple's Pro apps are available on the iPad, it's now a Pro device. However, from this creator's perspective, the iPad has been a Pro device for quite some time, and Apple is just now joining the party with its Pro apps. I've been using the iPad Pro to create digital art professionally, edit photos, create music, and even maintain my business operations. Well, it looks like that before that black cloud goes away, it's about to put a nail in the coffin to all those naysayers who would otherwise see the iPad as a consumption-only device or something less than its Mac counterpart. I will dare say, I'll say it again, the iPad is Pro. It is interesting that Apple chose to announce this via an Apple press release ahead of the Worldwide Developer WWDC conference. Instead of showcasing it as a part of its keynote, in reading between the tea leaves, that only means that WWDC this year is so jam-packed with exciting new things that we're not able to include this at the event. This truly does set the stage, pun intended, and the expectation that we have a lot of exciting things in store for us from Apple next month. Drop me a comment and let me know if you think the iPad is now Pro. Well, viewers, dreams do come true, and I'm so excited to try Final Cut Pro for iPad when it drops on May 23rd and report back to you. Thanks for watching to the end. This is Alex from Alex On. Until next time, stay curious.